Hello, and welcome to Magic is Real. I'm Shannon. I'm your host. This is the podcast where we talk about near death experiences, spiritually transformative experiences in general, and all things spirit communication and metaphysical. Thank you so much for being here today. You can also find this podcast wherever you get your podcasts if you are not. Wanting to watch the whole thing on YouTube. And I would just ask a question a favor of you, if you do like this podcast or even just this episode. It means the world. It helps the algorithm if you can put a little like, subscribe, share. Comments are wonderful. Even if it's just drop a little heart, it really means the world and helps support the podcast for free for just less than a minute of your time. So thank you. Without further ado, I am here today with the lovely Julie Dryburgh, who is a healing medium. She calls herself the healing medium, and she is here joining us from the UK. I am so honored to have her with me today so that we can talk about the work we do, the spirit world, and her journey into mediumship. Thank you so much, Julie, for joining us today.
Oh no, thank you so much, Shannon, for asking me. And I'm just so excited. I'm always excited about getting the word out. So thank you.
Me too. Thank you so much. And I'm going to turn that into a question. What
Mhm.
is it to you? I just got chills. Don't know why yet, but I would love to know. You are an angel. You do angel card readings. You offer psychic readings. You offer mediumship readings and healing sessions.
Yeah.
And what to you, why is it so important for us to share this information and to talk about it with people?
The main reason, even now, it's interesting because you're saying you've got chills. I just feel emotional, but in a good way, because it's all about love. I want to show people and help them to feel that love is there. And it's a love on a vibration that just encompasses your whole being, every part of your soul. And it's only been since I've been doing this for way back when, but the mediumship is 5 or 6 years. But when we connect, I just get super excited. So if I try not to talk too fast, Shannon, but it is just about getting that message over, getting the love that people have for each other. And also as well, the animals, you'll see my dog going up and down. The animals connect to that vibration as well. It's not just about humans, it's just amazing. It's just fantastic. I just adore it.
Me too. And I appreciate when you said I have to try to talk slower because when I get very excited, my ex-boyfriend said I that Mrs. Maisel reminds him of me when I'm excited. And I just get so animated. So
Yeah.
I try to measure, I'm like, temper the energy just so that I can be understood. So would love to know about your background because for me, I didn't start mediumship until adulthood, until middle age, but I would love to know your journey. And were you aware of this since birth, childhood, first memories, or how did this evolve for you?
It's interesting because as I was growing up, I wasn't one of those mediums that saw spirit in the crypt. Well, maybe I did, I can't remember, but no, I wasn't one of those mediums that had the big fancy stories that I was seeing spirits walking through the doors. None of that. But I did hear a lot. When I was 7, I used to hear things, and the back of my neck used to stand up. And I used to get that feeling that someone was always there. Now, when you're 7 years of age, that kind of would freak me out. And another thing that used to happen, that if my mum ever watches this, I'm confessing, everything I touched used to break. Electrical, kettles, toasters, cookers, oven, everything. Everything used to break, but I had 3 older brothers and they used to get the blame. I'm confessing. So being the youngest, so I used to go through that. But at the time, I would never think, because I had nobody to nourish me, the gift that I obviously had. I never had someone to say, well, it's all right, darling, that's your energy, that's you really picking up, the angels are coming in or whatever. I never had that. So I kind of got scared about when I used to feel that and hear things, and my hair would go up and end, just at the back of the neck, and I would just hear noises. And sometimes later on, and the biggest thing that I remember is, you wouldn't get away with this now, is we have a shop called the Co-op, the cooperative. Now, when we were younger, it was a big shop then. And I used to go with my grandma, and the guy in the counter, I don't know how it started, but we were doing heads, tails, would always win. Always win. And he'd be like, I'll get you tomorrow. I'd be like, yeah, come on then. And then the next day I'd go in, I'd always win, always win. And I never thought anything of that experience, or that everything would come to me, or that everything would be positive. All these things that when I look back, I think, oh my God, if only I had done it sooner. But that was the healing aspect, that was the knowing, that was the intuitive aspect of me. The mediumship didn't come to me till I was 49, quite late in life, sorry about that, people are older than me, but later in my life, because a lot of
Mhm.
people in mediumship, they've been doing it since their aunties, but no. But then since I found out that my grandma, she was she had something, she was doing the tea leaves, she was quite intuitive as well, but she died when I was very young, but I never had that person to talk to about this whole world that I now look at and go, oh my, and that's why we were saying at the beginning, when you feel the love and the vibration, I don't want to come back sometimes because I think, just keep me staying in here. I just want to stay here. But it's just, that's where it came from me with. But the one thing I have a regret. Okay, my grandma had this beautiful long necklace that had the inner shell of an oyster shell. It was curved. And I had this beautiful dressing table in my bedroom, and I was 14 at the time, and it started shaking. Now I ran downstairs, checked my mother. She was doing the washing. I was like, my face was white. Mum was like, "You all right?" Yeah. Ran back upstairs. It was still shaking. I now know that that was my gran trying to communicate, but I got scared and I threw the necklace away. And that's my one. But throwing the necklace away is my regret. But Gran is always there by my side. She comes through quite a lot as a teacher and an inspirer. So, but that's literally how it was, bitty, bitty, bitty. But there was moments of when I did see feel spirit, sorry, I wouldn't want to be in the house on my own, so I used to annoy my mother because I could not be left in the house. And so it was never all love and light as I was growing up. There was moments I was scared, moments I didn't understand, moments I had to sort of find things out, that just, how did I always know things? And then obviously as I got older, it all made sense, because I then started to go into the healing, the Reiki, the craniosacral, all that, and the amount of courses, I'm sure like yourself, Shannon, the amount of courses I have done over the years is phenomenal, but it's all now got me to this point now, talking to you now. So that I'm forever grateful.
Mhm. Yeah, I really relate with that. I started late too, in my life, in my 40s as well, where I didn't know that I had this ability. I knew that I was a highly sensitive person. Looking back, all the overwhelming anxiety makes so much sense. And but I didn't trust myself. I had very low self-esteem and did not trust myself. So I don't think I would have been able to do no, I know I wouldn't have been able to do the work now, because so much of what we do is a matter of trust and faith. And I would like to say that I watched one of your readings today and I thought, man, is she confident? And it's also very much the UK style of reading, sort of the Arthur Findlay, which is the school that one of the schools that I've studied with. Have you studied there too?
Yes, yes,
Yes,
I've
I
been.
figured you had. And I'm planning to go eventually, like as soon as I can. But it's very precise, it's very confident, it's very direct, and there's no questioning what you're seeing. So I want to talk about that with you, about trust, because for me, that was the hardest thing. And some of my students have said that's the thing I'm having the hardest time with. And I said, why do you think I
Oh.
tattooed it on my wrist?
Oh.
Because I it's so hard to let go and be like, I'm getting information and it's not spelled out clearly, and I have to trust that what I'm feeling is correct. So anything you want to say about trust in
Oh,
work?
oh, I can speak all night about trust. I went to the Arthur Findlay College, and I've been there twice now. And the last one we went to was 2 years ago, and it was all about surrender and trust. And again, people were on the stage doing these beautiful, massive readings that were just connecting. And I sat there going, "Please don't ask me, please don't ask me, please don't ask me." But obviously, don't ever say that, because they're going to go, "And Julie, let's come up." Oh my God, trust. I I was fearful. I can laugh now because it's quite funny, because I was like, oh my God. But the biggest thing I learned was, see, I don't know. I think it goes back to my Scottish heritage, right? Where it's surrender. We do not surrender. We stand up. I thought surrender was give away everything. Give away everything. That was my awareness to what I thought that meant. But then when I learned it isn't, it's all about just take the pressure off you, take take it all off you, but trust what you get. Because when we're on this path, they give us the information. And if it's wrong, admit it and say, you know what, I've probably misconstrued that. Let me just go back. But it took Shannon, I would say it took a few years. And even now, I still got a little bit nervous, but there was something that happened to me about 5 weeks ago that pushed me again. It's the second cycle, I would say, that's pushed me again into, do you know what? You absolutely, this is your path, this is your calling. Trust what we give you. And I have no hesitation now in saying, and it comes out so fast, and that's why sometimes I have to go, right, just let me slow down. It is the trust. The trust is the absoluteness of what we do, because they're there. And I try and put a little bit of humor into it as well. I do, because I'm like, come on, guys, they've come a long way. I know there's someone here that can take this. But it is the trusting and the knowledge now that I know this is my path. And that is taking years for me to sit here confidently to say, this is what I'm meant to do. And that's how it comes across when I do my readings. Because even when I watch myself, which isn't a lot, but when I do, it's like, I sometimes don't recognize that woman, because where she's come from, it's just phenomenal to be that I just do what I do for spirit. And I just get super excited. And how the mediumship works when they change it all up for me. I used to get freaked out by it, but now I'm like, well, this is how it is. This is how they're working with me. And let's do my best every single day. I do my best, but I do techniques as well. Every day I can go on talking. Since the 1st of
Keep
January,
going.
okay, the first, because I'm just super excited. I realized that I wanted to be, I am going to be on stage doing big platforms and do big healing. That is where I'm at, right? So I had a moment on the 1st of Jan. I didn't drink a lot, but we did the dry January over here. And I thought, you know what? If I want to be that person on the stage, being absolutely with the information they're giving me and being as confident as I'm sounding, I want to put the work in. I want to be that this time, literally 1st of Jan next year, that I can say, do you know what? Wow, I put the work in and look where I am. Look where we are, sorry, because it's all about my team and I. I couldn't do it without them. I couldn't do them. And I know there's been times in my life where I've been there on the floor through circumstances of life. But it's the trusting and the absoluteness of knowing, do you know what? They want me to learn these experiences. And I get it, I understand it, but sometimes I'm like, right, guys, come on, that's enough. You know what, I just, and they're like, right, okay. But I learn and learn and learn, because I was like you. I couldn't have been a medium way back when, because the type of woman that I was, quite selfish and quite self-absorbed. I didn't have the compassion or the empathy, the understanding. But then again, I didn't have the knowledge that I've gained now with going to Arthur Findlay, working with Eileen Davis and all these great mediums. I wouldn't have had that. But through growing into the mediumship and falling into it and knowing, having a knowing and the trust, that's where it's all come to. And that's where I'm at the moment, that I know now that I know now, and I can say I know now. And that's the confidence. But, I've gone through the stages of no, 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 can't take that. Oh my
It's
God, what's going on?
so nerve-wracking. And what I found is that in the beginning, that was more normal because I was learning. It's like
Yeah,
learning. It took me a year when I did CrossFit classes. CrossFit. I was doing CrossFit, and they were trying to teach us double unders, which is when you put the jump rope under yourself twice. It's like, whew, whew, and you jump over it. And I couldn't get it. I couldn't get it. I couldn't get it. And then like I practiced every workout. It took a year, and finally it just happened. It was like, oh, that's it. It's easy. I got it. It's the same thing with mediumship. I too have only recently stopped even worrying before any kind of reading. I'm like, look, if nothing comes through, it is for a very good reason. It is not me. It is spirit. Someone came to me the other day, asked, she wanted to know a question, but it was more of a psychic, spiritual question. And I was trying to go right into ancestors. Let's see who's here for you. I was not getting anything. And finally, she's like, well, that's actually not why I'm here. I don't really want that. I just need to figure out this spiritual experience I had and what it means. And I went, well, that is the first time I've not been able to connect with, I mean, in a long time. And it was because she didn't need that. She wasn't asking for that. So sometimes you just have to go, hey, if it isn't working, it's either not the right time or they don't have anything. They're just not ready for it. It's not the what
yeah,
for whatever reason.
yeah,
So when you talked about, you said, I think 5 weeks ago, Was it something specific or did it just start to click? What happened for you?
Yeah, the first step onto mediumship was interestingly when my doggy died, and I from that moment on, because I've always had doggies, and she was such a beautiful soul. They all are, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen. You will see my doggy coming up and down, um, and it was from that moment that I thought, you know what, it's clearly not worded like that, right? But I want to be able to help humans connect with their animals when the animals go to the spirit world, go to the Rainbow Bridge, the spirit world, because I just want to help people. That's where it started. And all of a sudden, as you're probably well aware as well, Shannon, the course just happened. Arthur Finley just happened. Things just fell into place because I allowed it. Now, 5 weeks ago, my ex-boyfriend, he committed suicide. He committed suicide. And from that moment on, again, there was a big shift in that. Obviously, there was the tears and the, because of what happened, clearly devastating. But in a way, because I'm able to deal with it. There was all the tears, but it was as though everything come out. Then all of a sudden it just went, "Ooh," the tears stopped. And it happened as well when my ex-husband died. And I just went, is that it? Is that it then? And it was like, "Phew." And then I heard him. And then I knew, and I thought, if I'm ever going to lose someone, I say job, right? I know it's a calling, but the best job that one can be in is to be a medium. And then the understanding was that he was there and I was hearing things and I was hearing my name, but my name is a nickname that he would always call me. And then it was from that moment on, it's just something, it was like a door shut, but because in life he was always trying to push me into stuff. And I was like, no, no. But again, that was at a time that I wasn't as confident as I am now. And I was like, no, no, no. And I know that the readings now, because everybody's coming saying, oh, he's connected, is that he is there now on my team, by my side all the time. So this is the next stage, that he is there to see, not in that pushy way, but to say, you know what, I am here. It's like an awareness for him, that which is interesting, because at the time when we were going together, I was going through this stage. Did you ever do this, Shannon? That you have to pull yourself away. You have to, I was doing courses. I needed the silence. I needed the studying, the training. But being within a family that was quite, there was a lot of noise. He now understands that why I didn't, why I took myself away and why the noise affected me. He now sees it all because he's there, he's by my side, and it all makes sense to him. He's like, I know now, I feel it now. And that's the beautiful thing now, to know that he's still here, teaching me and being with me on my path again, moving me forward to the next step. And that's where the absolute confidence came from, because something just shifted. Whether my pineal gland is just totally decrusted, I have no idea, but it's just something has then gone. Trust, 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 like you've said, it's the biggest word ever. And I've learned to trust it.
Me too. Yeah, I think that it's like it is learning another language. So that's why they communicate with us through symbols, because
Yes,
they don't, we're speaking telepathically. So they're giving us impressions and knowings and symbols and visuals and all using all of our senses to put
yes,
together a piece of to figure out what it all means. And at first it's like, wait, okay, so I have this piece and this piece and this piece and this piece. What does it all mean? And as you get more advanced in practice, you start to just say, okay, what does it all mean? And then something in you figures, just knows what it is. And it becomes easier every time as you find out that you were right. And then you gain that confidence. And then it becomes, oh, I know how to do this. I can do this. It's not spirit. It's not even about me. It's about spirit is not going to fail me. Because if a message needs to, I just got chills. If message needs to get across, they will make sure that I say what needs to be said, even if I don't even know what's happening. So really, sometimes I tell my clients, besides the fact that we're playing a game of charades, is we're going to play together. You're going to help me put the pieces together. And it all seems random until it doesn't, until I'm like, I get it. I get it. I see what the theme is. I understand now. It's putting together the pieces and knowing that the last bit is just saying, it's not me. I'm literally just sitting here and existing. And
yeah, you're right.
I am going to be prompted. So, oh, what I was going to say is I tell my clients, I might just talk to you for a few minutes, just because as I'm talking, things start flowing. I don't know
Yeah.
what I'm gonna say or why I'm saying it. I'm just gonna trust that what you need to hear today is going to be heard. And that's such a big leap of faith because in the beginning, don't you think, am I making this up?
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to dupe anyone. I don't want people looking, and I always say, hey, don't look at me as if I know all the answers. I'm a human.
Yeah.
I'm getting information, but also every good medium is only what 85% accurate, or I think that's what Mavis Patilla said. It's about we're gonna I always tell them my own thoughts are gonna be drifting in and out. So if it doesn't resonate, don't even worry about it. It's part of the process of winnowing grain from chaff.
I find now, do you find now that I'm at that point now that when I know because I always say this when I do the readings or I'm on divine services or services that I go, I know so much now if the mother is totally connected to the daughter or the father, because that love, I feel this, it's like this combustion of love that flows through me that I think, and I feel the emotion and I want to look at the client and just go, I love you, because it's coming through now. It's just, I love you, I adore you. And you know what? That's when you touch. And I realize now at the beginning, it's like, right, you want the name, you want the street name, you want the car, the drive, you want. And they're like that. Yeah, right, okay. And you're like, come on. And it is ego because you want to be that person that, yeah, I got that, right? And, but then I'm like that. If I got the absoluteness of how grandma just adored you and she would just do that with your hair, or the reading I did the other day was when she would just come in. It was impromptu because I was supposed to do card readings, but spirit were coming in. That she just wanted to hug her granddaughter. She just wanted to hug her tight because she knew she was going through some really bad stuff. She just wanted to hug her. Didn't want it, but the love I felt, the emotion I felt, and that's what's so important as well. That and I remember Chris Drew when we were on his course, he was telling the story of where he did these readings and this gentleman came down. He says it came down, it was 45 minutes. But he said the first thing that the client said was, I don't want you to speak. And Chris was like that. Hmm? He went, I just want to feel. And Chris went, and because of all that emotion that was coming out, and the first few words that he said, he knew the husband knew that that was his wife. And that's what, now I realize, yeah, if I get the names, I'm like that, I'll take that,
Yeah,
because I want to bring in the love of life of the spirit world. I want to bring in who they were, and especially if I'm on a Scottish service, oh my God, and I'm not, because obviously I live in Jersey now, right? So I'm not around the Scottish a lot, but it's coming in fast. And Scottish can tend to swear a tad. So I'm like, there's things that come in, and I will go, whatever I'm saying to client, and your mother, she might not have been too pleased at that. And the girl's laughing. She said, yeah, she would be a bit stronger with words. I went, I know, I can't see the word that's coming in because, and I would describe the mum or gran or uncle fully, but it's just interesting that bring the character back, because we're here to prove that there is life after life, and that's what my job is now. And that's why I get so excited when ladies and gentlemen, if you watch what I'm doing, I just get so exuberant because it's flowing, it's fast, it's just so energetic, and I come off here like
me too.
so buzzed, and I think, oh my God, that's just beautiful, beautiful to think. There's moments I sit back and go, I talk to dead people every day. How beautiful. Who can say that on their resume? It's just as long as I stick, and that's what I was saying before, that I decided on the 1st of Jan, that I will put the work in. I will sit with spirit for 35 minutes or whatever. I will sit with them every single day. I will make sure that I'm doing self-care, because you're talking about your gym work there. I used to always do the gym, always, always, always. Now, my life was getting so busy that with my ex-partner's passing 5 weeks ago, everything shifted. I thought, no, I need to do self-care. I need to be speaking and talking what I teach my clients about taking care for self. I wasn't doing it because I was filling all my time slots in. And I thought, no, no. And it's interesting, when if you find this, that you have we know that time is just, what is time? It doesn't exist, right? But time to fit in stuff. I don't change anything other than maybe one slot I've taken out my day, but I get I get meditation in the morning. I get my fitness in the morning. I get reading a book at night. I get my exercise. I get so much more in. And I'm going, it's like I'm in a time warp. I go, but what have I actually changed? But it's because I've asked. Self care is very important. You have to make sure that you're at your height of your wellness at all times, because it can't, is it draining? No, I come off exuberant. I'm like Zebedee. And for those that don't know Zebedee, it's a caricature in England. But I just feel like Zebedee, because if I come off knowing that I'm doing my best, and that's what I say every time before a show, even tonight, I'll say, Spirit, please be with me. I'm on with Shannon at 7:30. Just allow me to be my absolute best. That's it.
I
That's
do the
all.
same.
Yeah.
I just ask.
Yeah.
I really and I think you're right because if we are to do any kind of healing work, we don't have to be perfect. We're still human. What we
Yeah.
have to be is as healthy as we are able to be at that in that moment. We're always growing and learning, but it's not just physical health, it's emotional health, it's confronting our own darkness, shadow work, things that we need to work on, not because we have to be a perfectly healed angel to help other people.
Yeah.
In fact, in my case, I am a recovering addict, and it's been one of my greatest strengths in being able to empathize, help other people, because I want them to find the healing that I have. And it doesn't mean that I'm perfect or don't still struggle with certain issues, but we have to be our best self. I have, and you can comment on that. I just have two different questions, which I just have to, I'm reminding myself to ask you. But one of the things was that you mentioned bringing forth the essence of that person so that they can be identifiable, right? So I saw you just do a reading and you were so, I was like, wow, look at her. She's like, this man loved Halloween, dressed like making gorilla sounds, like so specific, right? I mean, you must have, and when you're in that, you're like, gorilla set, what is that? But you went with it, you said it confidently. This person is super animated. And here's something interesting I'd love to hear your thoughts on. I did this reading the other night that was more psychic because the person was still alive. It was the one I was telling you about. And this woman came to me saying, I just need to understand because I had a spiritual experience. And I said, I can't get a read on this. I feel scattered. I can't focus. I can't get anything specific. I feel like I'm grabbing onto a million things. I'm trying to describe this person, but it's like impossible. I don't know what I'm feeling. And she said, well, will it help you if I explain that this person has dissociative identity disorder and has something like 12 different personalities? And I was like, so I asked her, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. I said, this fascinates me because if people have dissociative identity disorder, which is caused by severe trauma, and they have to split into different personalities so that they aren't taking the brunt of it, what does that say about what the personality is? So if I'm connecting, if that person were to pass, how would I recognize them? How would I know who it was? I would probably get memories that you shared, but how interesting, because in my experience, the spirit retains the personality that they had. They've learned, but they're still coming forward as I was very stubborn. I was very this. And so, what if you had 20 personalities? I
You
just am
know,
curious. Anything you want to say about it?
oh, that's interesting because I've never actually had
I
that.
know.
And now, well, Shannon, now we've actually said it now. So I'm just like that. I know it's going to happen. I know it's
Yeah.
going to happen now. Um, do you know what it would be, that the person, so say I had the person's mother there, right? That mother would know by something I would have said that would totally connect to her. It would be how I said it, my mannerisms, because I noticed that sometimes, because we're taught to do this, if I'm doing, because I don't do that right normally, but if I'm tending to, I'll go, oh, oh my God, she do that. So it's all about knowing that if you if you just, again, it's that biggest word, if you trust when you're going into that personality, did the family see all 20? Did they must have done at some point in time personalities that they might not have really liked to be seen, to be fair, or the ones that were just, so it's just, you can only give and tune into and feel that personality. And if there's 20, by God, you're really working for it now, because you would be like, I just feel so angry and annoyed and bitchy. And, but then I feel like it's so sweet and everything just, just all, but then I feel like so, and I would be describing it. So when you get into that mode of being a medium, it goes deeper, doesn't it? It's like the layers, the layers, the layers that we're always taught to absolutely feel that essence of someone, even in that disparity of all these different split personalities. It's just knowing and just allowing it to come forward. Because I do say to spirit as well, if you wish to use my voice, please do. If you wish to use my body, please do. And but obviously my gatekeepers are always there. But it's all that sense of knowing. Does that make sense? Because I just feel as though it's just that knowing that, feel it, feel the essence, because you might get the part of the personality that's like, and I'll be going, I don't actually want to talk about anything, and I feel quite grumpy, and I feel, look, I'm pursing my lips, and they'd be like, oh my God, she used to go like that. She used to go like that. She'd be like, don't want to talk to you a bit. So I would be like, would you feel that your sister, mother, whomever would be a little bit, they'd be cutting, they would say it as it is, didn't want to talk to you. I ain't talking to you. I just don't need to. And they'd be like, so it'd be interesting if I ever did get someone that did have many personalities, because that would be, I'm going to come back to you if I ever get that. Knowing that
I
we're,
know, and it just I have I mean, this opens up something which we don't need to get into, but it's a thought about when people are well, when they have mental illness, but also uh yeah, what it kind of begs the question of what is the soul versus the personality. And I think I was thinking of like schizophrenia and all the and those things, which of course are that's a whole it's I could go so deep with that topic that I don't even it's like I don't even want to open it up, because it's like, is it that these people are actually communicating with spirit and so they're
what
scrambled, or
it's
yeah.
interesting. Sorry, it's
No,
interesting because
please.
I love when we talk now, when we talk to our own people, if you like. I hear the voice coming in. What if it's them talking to themselves on a different dimension, and it's all their selves coming together, all different? That's what's just
Yeah.
come to me now, that it's all these different personalities and all these different timelines that are all coming together, that we've learned to. And now that we're talking, I see what you mean about this discussion. It's beautiful, isn't
Yeah, I mean, it's great to
it?
explore if you have something, yeah.
Learn that I've probably learned, I don't know yet, that I've learned to, not to have them all at the same time for whatever reason. But perhaps some people quite haven't learned that skill yet, and they're all flying in at the same time, where, that on the different dimensions, they might be living a life that is of fear, that's of hardship, of Viking, and pillage and all that stuff. And then there's a life that's all like they're living in a mansion, and it's all these different lifestyles, because we won't know till we know. So it's interesting now you're bringing that up, because I want to go deeper into the mediumship, because it's not all about the love and light, is it? It can go so much deeper than that, because I've got a dear friend that, they work with the police, and they do recover bodies, and they go down that way. I tried that one, and I thought, no, that wasn't for me. It was a bit too dark for me. It was not, I like the lighter side of it. But I want to be able to, I wanted to be able to find animals and stuff, like, which still hasn't. I do tend to get that, but I want to bring in the love, the joy, the happiness. I want to show people that are really going through the mill with losing their loved one, that, you know what, look, there is life. This is what they're doing. This is where they're at. They've been with you shopping because this is what they've done. It's 5 o'clock. Does that ring a bell? Because that's, you were doing that because they were there at the kitchen watching you. That's what I want to do. I just want to be that person that says, you know what, they are here with you, because it is devastating when people lose their loved ones. But I like to think, with the studies and the knowledge I've gained, that we go up there and we get a life review, and it's like, right, right. And especially when I think of my ex-partner, when he left this world, that I know he's up there now getting a massive life review and going, right, you do know you're going to have to go back. So I know, that because we're here. Dolores Cannon, she's beautiful if you follow her, and she's one for saying the hardest school is Earth School. This is the hardest school to come to. You know what? People don't want to come to Earth to come back here, because they're like, no, let me be something else, because it's the hardest. They look at the emotions we have to learn. You know, when, you know, if you're hurt, you're anger, you're frustrated, all these lower emotions, to change them round, like you're saying with your addiction, right? To change that around takes such strength and courage, determination. But that's beautiful when you get to that stage and you can turn your whole life around to then come into the love, the joy, the peace, the tranquility. But I have to say, would you agree? It's not easy because I myself, 4 years ago, I had a stroke. I was, I've had loads happening to me, and it's just because of the phenomenon. That's why I'm confident with the healing, because we help to heal. When I was out, banged my head, and I didn't present till the next day, and then stage. Then I was presenting full stroke, and even it was about 4 weeks after when I went to the consultant. She was ticking off. She was stood there like that, and I went, "What are you doing, Marion? What are you doing?" And she went, "Well, I can't ask you half the questions, can I? Because look at you." She went, "The lady that had exactly what I had a week before she died." She went, "You should not be here by the what you presented." And casually, like I always do, right? I go, yeah, but that's because God and everybody else sent me healing and I'm healed. And she was like, and because I'm confident in saying it, I don't need to hide it. I
Yeah.
say, when I went to my L5 disc, she came out for a little holiday. I was like, you can get back in there, young lady. And the pain. But then I spoke to God and said, take this pain away. I've had the stroke. I've had that. I'm doing no more. And I was quite a bit curt with the words. And I did two massive swims in the sea. Oh, it took me, oh, I mean, I was grey. I was in agony, but I thought, no, two massive swims, gone. So when I went back to get the x-ray and they were all going, again, they couldn't believe it. They're like, well, you should be with that x-ray that we've got, because she was sticking out a hell of a lot. They were saying you should have pain. I was like, God's taking the pain away. I do not have pain anymore. And they were like that. And it's actually in my notes. She is a healer and God helps her to heal, as does everybody else. So that's where the confidence comes from. Because if I've been through a stroke, if I've been through the L5S1 protruding and that's gone, the there's no pain there. And with the sciatica, I had a little limp left, and I was like, oh my God. Now I am working through that, and every day I go, she's getting better and better and better. And I think it's only through that hardship and that struggle have I learned to surrender. And that's why now I get what they meant at Arthur Finley a year and a half down the line, that I've gone, I know what surrender means. Allow the healing to happen, because I used to say to myself, well, what healer am I if I can't heal myself? And that's what I used to say. So knowing that I've healed and people, and I can say this, I met the paramedic that saved me, okay? And all I remember is he was a big man, big ginger beard, huggy, bare man. And he was down in the beach where I was just going for a coffee about 4 weeks after. And he said, you had the word was about that long. I've no idea what he said, but he said, you should not be here. You should not be here. You should never have survived that. And I went, God help me.
Yeah, because you weren't supposed to go yet. That's okay. So this leads me to another question, and then I'm still going to ask the next one, which is I'm also Reiki master. You mentioned Reiki. I know that you do other modalities, sacral. Um, please finish. Yes, craniosacral work. And these are all different modalities, but what is it? What is energy healing? Why does it work? I understand we are not healing, we are encouraging the patient or the client or the person in
Yeah.
front of us to heal themselves. How are we doing that? How is that? What's the in I even though I do Reiki, I still don't understand exactly. To me, it's intention with Reiki, and that's all I have familiarity with is like prayer. There's intention, and
Yeah.
also along. And I'd like to have you add to that. You know, there's sometimes where energy healing doesn't work, and I believe it's because it was that person's path to
Yeah.
cross over when they, or say they have cancer and they're not meant to survive it because that was their soul's path ahead of time. So sometimes it may not heal, it may provide relief. So I'd just like to hear your whole, whatever you want to say about that.
Yeah. It's no, I totally agree, because I am a Reiki master, but I always laugh at the master bit because I think,
Me
am I
too.
a
Me too.
So I started off 18 years of age getting into Reiki, all the healing modalities, theta healing, craniosacral therapy. I mean, there's not one healing modality I haven't done. And what I do now, what is energy? Energy to me is when you think about what we are and what we're made up of, we are energy beings, okay? We vibrate. It's everything around us right now. This, I love quantum physics.
Me
Everything
too.
around us is vibrating. Nothing is solid. So you've got to imagine that. What is energy then? For me, what I do is I've amalgamated all my, I don't specifically do cranio or Reiki or, but if a client says, oh, can I have Reiki or cranio? I'll say, right. But I say to them, what I'm doing now is with the I give them, I don't go too in depth with them because if they want to know, yeah, they do. If they don't, then they don't. I say, look, we're all energy, understand that. Yeah. So you all realize that our cells are pulsating all the time, that energy, we're vibrating, we're vibrational beings. And obviously with the planet going around, it would be interesting to think if we didn't have what we've got right, we'd be up there floating around, with the gravity and all that. But for me, it's all about right. I connect to source. What is source? Source to me is the higher being that's just all around me. That again, it's the love. I just feel the healing aspects of the love. For me, that's what it is. I know that Reiki, universal energy, but what exactly is that? So I make it simple for clients to say, I just connect to the love vibration of all that is. I connect to them, whoever them is. Them to me is all the higher beings, all my team, all the healers of the world that have passed. They're there. I connect to them. So the vessel as it comes from them into me, through me, and into the client. Now, like you say, not everybody wants to be healed. And I am so a believer that before I've come down, I've had my sheet of paper and I've gone, right, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing. And we totally forget. Totally forget as soon as we're born, everything's forget. And that's why we get deja vu. And I know we get, oh, I've done this before. So I know that with the deja vu that we tend to with the healing aspects of it. And that's what my personal thing is that when we're up there, we say, right, this is what we want to do. Come, we're born, totally forget what we're supposed to do. But if we're guided by things, and I hear, and I love the 1111, all the numbers, and I think, right, okay, I respect that, what's going on there, and the infinity of the eight. So I take note now, but that's learning to be a mindfulness teacher as well, knowing that, okay, we've got our past, the past is done, our subconscious, that's the habits, okay? If people don't like their life, change it. But how do you change it? Because it's not that easy. I understand that. Teeny tiny baby steps, I say to clients, teeny tiny baby. I'm not going to say, and I will never say, yeah, just do it. Say, no, 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 no. I would rather take advice from someone that's been through it, someone that knows what it's like to be on the floor, that's been through all this stuff, someone that you could actually, like yourself, if someone looks to you and says, you know what, I'm an addict, I've got, and you're like that, you know what, it's not going to be easy. But I tell you what is, when you get through it, what you feel and see and hear and touch and smell is just so much greater than you can possibly imagine. So it's giving people the hope that we've all made the choices in life that's given us to where we are right now. Okay. And we have to understand for people that the past is done. The programs are, if you want to change the programs, then you can, but our focus has to, like I've done, I have to sit in the power every night. I have to start the weight training and everything I've done because that's who and I forgot how great that felt. So it's having that awareness to take personal responsibility for your life and your soul's enhancement. Because when I pass over, I don't want karma. That's out the window. I will not just side with someone and I'm like that. Well, and I'll say, I don't want your karma because I know that my soul, she's growing and growing and growing so that when I do pass over, I don't need to come that far back again. I can come back and go, right, let's move forward. Let's move forward. And that's what my passion is about, to do the best I can do. And the healing aspect is just all about sourcing that energy from God, from the inspirers, from all that is, and just tap into that vibration of, it reminds me of the film Lucy. Did you ever watch Lucy?
No, but I know of it.
Yeah, so she begins to see the stuff she took, but she begins to see, she sees all the conversations, she sees all the lines now, all the communication lines. And we know that if we had that piece of apparatus, we can see the radio signals. We can see that. But with our eyes, we cannot clearly, because we just can't. But they are there. So it's up to us to tune into the vibration, the frequency that resonates with us to make ourselves better, person that we can possibly imagine to then enhance further. So that's what I do. I tune into the energies that are all around. Does that make sense? I feel as though I've gone off on a tangent.
No, all of that was really valuable and interesting. Yeah, I think so too. I think it's almost a sort of one-on-one prayer where you're
There.
asking the higher beings to gather around this person and give them what they need, even if, as I said, sometimes people won't. It doesn't mean we can spontaneously cure cancer, although people have, I
Yeah.
say claimed, not because I don't believe them. I've just never experienced it personally. They've claimed that Reiki healing cured them of cancer or whatever else. I think it is possible. But I also do believe that, again, we have soul contracts. So it doesn't mean we do have free will, but we don't always have control over what ultimately happens. So, and that's just my personal, what I've gathered from,
I totally,
yeah.
I concur with that because it is. I do believe that if one is to get healing, and say they were at stage 4, stage 3 of cancer, all I would say is what we can do for you is to help you to heal in the aspects of your mindset, that to give you that little bit of, love, to help you through the emotion and the physical pain that you're going through. If they ask me, "Can you heal me?" No, no, I
Yeah.
cannot. All I can do is give you what you need at this moment in time, and that's what's important. And if they have passed, then I believe, like you do, that it is their soul contract that they have made that decision to. And it's not until they go up the life review and get that, they're like, ah, that's what I signed up for. And that's why when I think about now, I know all this knowledge a lot more, the compassion and the understanding what people go through is like I say, every single person has a story. And I am not here to judge anybody in any way, shape, or form. All I'm here to do is work with my team to help people and this aspect of their human life down here on earth. So that's just what we're doing, my team and I. But it's interesting when you're saying about healing now, because when healing, I do a lot of healing online all over the world, and I just see people just lie anywhere, lie in your bed. You don't need to see me, but what we will do is say it's an hour. I will be here, and obviously I'll honor that because there's some people that just don't honor it. But I will be here and honor that. But you don't need to talk to me. Just know that we are here, and I explain to them that we do a slight little meditation, and then we bring in all the team. I said, you may feel hands on you, you may feel like a little bit of coolness, you may feel just different, but just allow my team to do what they need to do. And my head's out of that then by that point, because I'm like, it's not about me. Because I'm at that stage now, it's not about me. I'm just the person that they come to for the healing of whatever it is they need, because you have to come to someone, right? Because um people need someone to work with, and that's when I do my stuff. That it's just, I'm just that channel. It is truly, I don't mean to sound twee, but I am. It's out of my hands. I'm there to do exactly what they want me to do, and just keep my ego and head out of it and just do the best I can.
I start every reading praying for my own ego to be removed. Any self criticism, any judgment, any preconceived notions. Just use me as a clear vessel without any of my stuff getting in the way, because it needs to be in my sitter's highest and best good and in the highest and best good of the spirit world. And I say, just use me and help me to deliver clear and healing messages that you intend for this person, not what I think they need, but what you know they need. And it's that's always a practice. So my other question, a couple of them are swimming around in my head, but one of them is, what is your take on how we're able to do this? Because, like, what is happening? Basically, what is happening? Why are we here? And what is the soul? And how are we able to connect with the soul? And just sort of from anywhere you want to begin with, how are we able to do this work? How are we able to communicate with those that have left their bodies? Where are they? What's going on? Why are they there? Why are we here? What's the process in terms of, obviously none of us know 100%, but what do you believe to be
Oh
true?
my God, it's interesting when you're talking, because my inner child's like, "Ah, come on, let me
Yeah,
get talking." It's like, it's so exciting.
I
I
know.
I do feel as though, what is it all about? Okay, everybody's got a gift at something, whether it is mediumship, whether it's healing, whether it's painting, whether it's drawing, whether it's playing guitar, music. Everybody has something that they're good at. Some people have yet to find it, but once they do it, they just need to open themselves up. So for me, it's about, I truly believe that we come down to this earth school for major big lessons, right? This is the biggest lesson. I mean, of all the planets we go to, and I know that we have many, hundreds of lives, hundreds of lives, right? We have many, many lives. But if we're not learning, we have to go to earth school. And earth school is a bit like, we know we have to
Yeah.
come here. It's an absolute at one point. So you best to get it over with is what I say. So I feel as though coming down here and now at the age I'm at is it's just interesting that what I keep spirit a roll around me laughing because they're like, let's see what she's going to explain this. This is really funny. So it's just, for me, it's all about just having that realization that we have a subconscious clearly, and that's where all our programs are always running, right? And not to our betterment of all times, right? And it's for us to have personal responsibility to see, how do we want to be, literally, how do we do, I don't do this, right? Because I'm never grumpy, but, and I can actually say that, never grumpy, but do you want to wake up happier? Do you like waking up being grumpy? Do you like talking to people like that? And if the answer is no, it takes commitment and the belief and prayer. Prayer has been going biblical terms. Prayer to pray to God and all that is to say, do you know what? I want to be better, but you have to put the work in. You have to put the work in. So for me, when I think about what is spirit, it's the soul's essence, the essence of that person. It's, we know that this is just the body, right? Clearly, but how are people taking care of it? Because that vessel has got to get us from birth to the end, okay? And I want to take it as long as I can, and by treating her kindly. Now, I may have the odd bag of chocolate again, right? And but then I get to that stage to go, no, I'm done with that, right? So I believe that we're here for a lesson. We're at the earth school to learn all the tough lessons we could live: compassion, clarity, strength, empathy, the whole range of emotions for our soul then to, when we leave our body, that our soul literally, as I said before, can go, do you know what, I'm up there, get me to that review room, get me to the cinematic room where I see all my life and all those people I've hurt or said something to. That is what I'm going to see on that film. I'm going to have to sit there and I'm going to have to watch how I reacted, how I spoke to people, how I talked to people, which is why when I learned all this years ago, that I'm making sure that my karma, that I'm the best I could be now. Understandably, we're human. Understandably human. Understandably, we get tested to the lilt. But at least I now can see, which I never said before, is I apologize if I was grumpy in the morning, or if I was a bit short with you at work. I didn't mean to be. I was a little bit. No, that's absolutely. I now apologize. I now nip it in the bud straight away. I now hear, see, feel, taste, touch if I'm not of my highest order. And what does that mean? That means that I just don't feel right. I feel it right in the solar plexus. I feel a little bit just hollow. And but if I'm connected to spirit and doing spirit work, I feel so loved, so joyous, so full, so light, so airy. And I just want to, I feel so different. I feel encompassed with love when I know I'm on the right path. But I can so feel it now to the exact minute detail that if I am not quite where I should be. And that's what I believe with the energy in our soul. And that's why with Julie Dryburgh, and it was like, what do I call myself? I've been have been everything, when I help people transform, mindset coach. But when I look back, it's all about just wanting to help people be the best that they can be. And that's I don't fluff, I don't do white noise, I don't go, well, whatever. I just say, look, if you want to change, you can. Okay, you can, but you have to want it. It's as simple, it's like what Granny says, simple is best, right? It's, if you want it, you can have it. And with spirit, and now I feel quite emotional, is because spirit will help me to help someone do that if they so want it, because I can see people's souls when they're unhappy. I can see that soul behind them when they're hanging their head. I know when someone is sad. And when I was working in the clinic, the massage, there were different people in the clinics, the massage, he would come out and say, can you just tune in to see whatever the client's name was, because I just can't get to. So I'd say, right, and if I was covering reception, right, because my client wouldn't, I'd just sit in reception, I'd be like that. And I would tune right into them and I'd go, oh my God, it's the psoas muscle, it's the piriformis, or it's something, the L5, it's whatever it may be. I would go, you need to go back to blah, blah, blah. And they'd be like, ah. They'd take notes. Next time the client would come in, they'd go right into that spot and they'd go, oh my God, Jules, I got the release. So bodies talk to me. It's interesting because if the clients are saying one thing and they're talking away, wait, I am listening, but I'm hearing the voice of the soul talking, and the voice of the soul is a totally different story to what the human's talking, because the soul knows best. The soul's like, well, she hasn't actually been doing the gym 5 days a week. That's not true. And she does get a little bit annoyed. Yeah, and she does. So I'm hearing that two sides of the story. So then I say to the human, I'll say, have you ever thought about blah? And they'll go, and I can see the soul going, yes, because I'm helping this human and the soul to truly connect and be who they are, and allow the inner child to come out. And all of us have a play, because we need to have fun. We need to have fun. There's times that I work so much that I think, when was the last time I actually belly laughed? And when I do, it just comes out and it's so funny. But we have to realize that personal growth, there is not a consequence, but sometimes it can be lonely, but only lonely until a point of that where you have to learn what you have to learn, and then you could start bringing it out to other people, if you know what I mean. We're never alone, but there are times that you have to do the work, you have to do the studies, you have to, because then when you're out there doing God's work, if you want to have the holidays, you can. If you want to be on stage, you can, but you have to do the work fast before you go out there and do what you have to do. And that's why with this, my absolute mission is to get Julie Dryburgh's soul to the best place that she can be, so that when I've gone, that I can go, whew, I did my best. And that's where I'm at now.
Thank you. That's really beautiful. I also wanted to know, which I think I know the answer, but I would like to hear your perspective. Going through your life, do you receive messages regularly without asking spirit to come in, or is it something that you need to intend?
No, constant, in a nice way, in a
Yeah.
nice way. And we have I mean, way back when, if people knew what went in my head and people talked to me, then yeah, and it is. But like you said at the very beginning, it was like, is that me? I just said that. And it's learning, again, it's learning to trust, because I will say, and I say this to all my clients, the voice of spirit is love and kindness. If it's not that, then it's not spirit, it's something else. And that's, like I say, and if you're hearing that, then we need to go to a professional about that. But you would only hear love and spirit from, and I hear it all the time. It was the beginning, Reiki. Do you remember Reiki, the car parking space that we got taught? Send out the thought to get the car parking space, and you'd get that space and go, oh my God, it actually works. And then you'd play. And when I used to work in an office, right, I'd get hit all of a sudden. I'd feel this woof of energy. I was like, and I would stand up and people would go, oh my God, Julie's on this. I'd be like, right, who was it? It was you. You've just bombed me with your energy. Like, I didn't mean to. You were just like, I was thinking about you, and I just went woof to you. So I can feel now, I can feel exactly where it's coming from. I can feel but now not my protection, because I don't protect myself per se, but now I'm at that boundary that you'd be very hard pressed to get in, because I have everybody around me that would just make sure that certain energies would not even get anywhere near my vibration. But that's where I'm at the moment, that yeah, I hear voices saying, you shouldn't have said that, or I think you should say that, or say that to the client, or it just comes in. And that's what happens with the mediumship, where I get I start so many different ways. The other day I was seeing this Apache horse. I was like, right, ladies and gentlemen, I've got this Apache horse, and it's Apache like the Indian movies, and it's brown and white, it's got the bit there. And everybody was like, and I was talking about this girl, and she was in spirit, nobody could take it. I went, right, one of you here has an Apache horse, or you did raise a child and you were riding the horse without a helmet on, because you were quite such a way you would not listen to what people had to say. And this woman went, that'll be me. And then from her, then we went to the grandma, or the auntie, sorry, that was coming in for her. So they give it me different ways. So that's where I've learned to trust now. If people sit there and go, and I'll go, right, one of you here had, but it's funny because the client never thought to say, actually, I had an Apache horse. It's just I have to say it a different way, and it brings it all in. But that's what I say about the hearing stuff. It's just, it's not constant, because I don't allow it to be constant. Otherwise, it'd be we need to be human. We need to sit there and watch a program, just do like I'll do tonight after this. It's just that time that, but no, I trust now what they say. And it's always of essence and of goodwill that when I hear things, I take it really wholeheartedly, what they're saying.
Yeah, me too. It's not, it's not an every minute thing. You're still able to focus on other things, but
Yes.
occasionally I'll walk into a store and suddenly I feel tingles going down the right side of my
Yeah.
body, which for some reason it goes down the right side of my body and I don't know why. And then I know someone's there, so then I snap to attention and say, "Okay, if make who is it? Make yourself known. Who would you like me to send a message to?" And then I don't usually walk up to strangers, but if this spirit is adamant, I'll
Yeah.
trust my gut and say, "Hey, listen, are you a spiritual person? Yes. Are you open to messages because I'm feeling someone around you that wants to give you a message?" But it doesn't happen. Usually I don't approach them, but
Yeah.
if it's something where spirit just is like, "Yes, yes, yes," and I know that it feels safe to me, where I'm thinking I'm not imposing this on someone and they have a right to say no if they don't want to. It's never gone anything but great. It's always ends with someone sobbing and saying, "Thank you so much," because
Yeah.
spirit knows that they're not going to make me go up to some burly atheist guy with,
Yeah.
driving a truck and be like, "Hey, your grandma's here." Um, so I tend to just trust. And sometimes I say, I really don't want to approach someone. I don't feel comfortable. But I do know when they're there because I'll feel it physically. Do you also get physical sensations?
Yeah, all the time. And
Yeah.
it's interesting if I'm out, even if I'm out with the girls or wherever, and people talk to me for a reason, right? We all know that, right? Because I'm not interested in anything else. We go out, we talk, and then they're always drawn to me, and then I'll hear the voice, then I'll say like what you say, I'm like, look, and people know me. Jersey's quite a small place, so people know me. So I have a habit of just going, you know what, you really need to take care of blah. And they're like, oh my God, I know, I can't believe you're saying, well, your grandma's just come in and told me, has she really? And because I'm just saying it such like that, but I'm like you, there's a time and a place, sometimes that I just think, well, if it's going to come out, it's going to come out. And I do trust that spirit wouldn't put us in a situation where it was someone that would be like that, that would have a absolute go. But when you think about spirit and you think about the job, I say job, right? I know it's a calling, but the job that we do is just it's humbling, isn't it? To think that my upbringing was my stepfather and I used to watch horror. This will make you laugh. We used to watch horror movies, right? Stephen King, James Herbert, all the Freddy Krueger, all the horror movies. So when I asked Spirit when I first started, I want to see Spirit, but I was like, I'd like to see, but I don't want to see dead people. And it'd be, like that film that what's his name was in, but I was like that going, I don't want to see. And I thought, Jules, that's ridiculous, that's horror movies. You cannot imagine a horror movie being that they would see twinkles of little light in the corner or orbs flying, but that just doesn't. And I realized then that that's something totally different. And it's funny, I'm talking to you now and I can see orbs going along the bottom of you all the time. So it's like seeing that and knowing that they're there, that's a beautiful thing. And just that presence of knowing they're there, that feeling of, I just feel it so much now in my heart, the energy, the love. I just feel it, but I can feel it. Just the cold air is always a natural one. And even if I sit here and do my classes, I'll go, is it a drum? And I've been doing it how long? But I just go, just do, because we all want confirmation that even though we do it and it's right and it's correct and people confirm it, I still have moments of going, oh my God, that was so right. Thank you for confirming. Because it just makes it all even realer. I was going to say that's not even a word, more real, that what we're doing is just such a beautiful thing to be doing and to have the opportunity, like our dear friend that Barbara that said, oh, you have to get on talking to Shannon. I was like, yeah, bring it on. Because the more people that know about what we do and how we can help them, the more that people will come to us to get that help, the us. And that's all I'm here for. So the physical side of it. But there was one time, it's happened twice in my life, and I was like, no. I was watching someone do some craniosacral, and he was working away, and it was an hour I was sat there, right? But within about 2 minutes, I was like, oh, I thought I was going to be sick, Shannon. I thought, oh,
Mm.
and I sat there going, I've got to sit here for an hour, and I was like, take it away, take it away. Twice I was bombed. This is way back when, bond with someone's energy. And I remember when she left and I was speaking to the trainer and I said, she always comes here, doesn't she? And you're really feeding her fear. He went, I know, he says, she just wants healing all the time. And we're working upon that she was going to a different level, like feeling quite low. I said, she just bombed me. He went, she used to do that with me. So I went, he said, didn't you? And it's interesting because I should have known better. Did you not protect? No, I clearly didn't. And it was twice it happened, and it's just never happened again because I thought, right, I do my prayer, make sure that it's all. But I don't do it so much now, but that was then because I thought if I've got caught twice, spirit are warning me. And yeah, because I've never felt so sick for an hour. I had to sit there. I was like, I think I'm going to be white. It was just the most nauseating experience, but that's the worst actual physical pain. But when I'm doing mediumship, I will feel, I'll come forward, I'll move forward, and I'll be like, is this how your grandmother, whomever it was, or I'll feel the pains in my chest or on
Yeah.
my ears. I'll be like, I can't hear at one ear. So I get those symptoms that I just have and I ask them to take away. But yeah,
Yeah, normally I encourage them because it doesn't actually hurt me. It's
yeah,
more, how did you pass? And then I just have it's almost like a memory of a pain
yeah,
rather than the actual physical sensation. However, I did have one experience recently where I got so sick, I thought I was going to die. I mean, I was at a psychic fair, a healing arts fair, and I was doing a reading for this girl. She was like a teenager. And I brought through her uncle, and I was started to feel so sick that it was like I was had vertigo. I was dropping several I felt like I was gonna throw up all of a sudden. I got up to walk to the bathroom. I couldn't walk a straight line, and I thought, "I'm dying. I'm gonna die right here in front of this poor teenager and traumatize her for life." And it turned out the reason was because I was saying, "Oh, this man has some seriously dark stuff happening," and it turned out that he had taken his life because he was involved with some really bad stuff involving nothing, fortunately, in person, but it was, involving children. And fortunately, he didn't actually hurt a child, but it was on that, kind of along those
right.
lines. And then her father showed up. And I said, "Well, your brother just came in and he made me really sick." He said, "That does not surprise me at all." I mean, he was in a very, very dark place. And I realized what I was feeling was the way he was feeling when he was leaving, just all of that bad energy. And then the way he was feeling, because I was dizzy and I felt like I couldn't come up for water. And he had passed of an overdose. And it was like, I felt like I was drowning. I felt like, and I mean, really, I threw up I came back, but that doesn't normally happen. And I usually ask, I don't normally have that experience because I find that even if someone did have a dark history, that once they're on the other side, it becomes light and they see the error of their ways and they understand their illnesses and that sort of thing. But for some reason, this just took me down. And I really thought I was leaving. Like I almost started to lose consciousness.
That's fantastic. That's a fantastic. That's fascinating, isn't
I
it? When you,
know.
but
Yeah.
it's just so interesting that when you can connect so closely to someone else's soul to feel that.
I know.
And not that we're putting it out there that we want to feel that,
No,
but
I don't. Yeah.
that one time, and it's like that one time that twice times with me, and I just think, right, that's it, I'm done, I can feel that. But like you say, when we feel our stuff, I don't feel the heart attack happening, I just feel the feeling of the
Yeah.
feeling, but not the absoluteness. And some mediums do, but I'm just like, no, I don't want to feel that thing. Fine.
Me too.
Right.
Normally it's light. Normally
Yeah.
what I feel is light, love, tingles, joy, the peaceful parts of it, but it is important. I sometimes forget to ground, and I always ask for protection in advance, but sometimes it can take a turn where I'm taking on too much too eagerly because I just want to give good messages and I want to be the best medium. And unintentionally, I absorb that soul's energy. And so that's something that's really important. Um, just to sort of to sum it up, and we will have links to all of your links where we people can work with you and find out more about you. You have a YouTube channel as well. And I just want to find out if there's anything you'd like to share specifically about events you have coming up or anything related to your work and services that you would like to share?
The what I'm doing is I'm continuously learning. So my website is not getting built. It got corrupted way back when, and I've just never done it until Barbara was like, "You need to get your website." I was like, "Okay." So that's all going to be done on the 1st of March. But it's my thing is I'm just here to help people. I'm just here to do it's like this process. This last year was all about learning. It's interesting. Last year was all about lack. I was in lack. I felt lack. I was lack. And it's interesting. What I laugh at this now, but last year it wasn't. But again, it was all about those moments of human emotions I was going through that makes me realize that how through determination one can change exactly what one thinks where one's going. In that I was like, and even for me doing what I've been doing for all the years I've been doing it, I was speaking like, thinking like, I was like, can't afford. And I was like, and then all of a sudden, that's why from the 1st of Jan, everything changed because I thought, no, no. And it's interesting how now everything's flowing. So um, everybody can find me on social media. You know, I do a free weekly on a Wednesday, which is 8 p.m. GMT time, UK time. And that's for the card readings. That's Spirit sometimes comes through. So that's on Find Me a Medium, and it's a universal. They'll find it on they've got my name there. But I do that every Wednesday. And then I'm doing a lot of divine services, which I post on my Facebook and Instagram, because it's just, and you know what's interesting when I go on these divine services, that way back when I'd be a little bit intimidated. I'm like, oh my God, look, we should look, we should go. I can't do that. Whereas now I'm just like, I've let all, I see, I don't even do a lot of the stuff you do. I just sit there and say, right, Spirit, I'm on at 7 o'clock. Make me the best I can be. Help me get exactly what I'm getting. Make sure that they understand it, right? But if I get the names, I love the names. I'd love the street
Me
names,
That's my favorite part, and I
Yeah,
it's one of my greatest mediumship strengths, and the Long Island medium always says, "I don't need names. It doesn't matter." To
yeah,
me, it matters because of what you said, it makes it more real. For me even.
yeah. Yeah, if I can turn, and I remember that, and I realized now what way back when my friend and I, this is when we were just starting out, someone wanted a reading, and I instantly went, I've got Stephen here, and she burst into tears, and she went, that was his name, and I went, yes. So it showed, we were like that. You watch a medium when she gets a name, she's like, yes,
That's
and
it's the best part.
it is. And it's knowing that, and that's what I want to do this year. So last year was all about like, this year's all about having an understanding that I want to have the fun aspect through it now. I know people when they come to me and like they said at clinic, you know, you'll end up crying, but that crying is that emotion that needs to come out in a beautiful, loving way, because I'm here with my team to help you in whichever way, physically, mentally, emotionally, for you to enhance yourself, whichever aspect you want to do it. You know, I cannot cure. I'm not Jesus. I'm not God. But what I can give you is the commitment to work with my team and I to help you in the matter of what you need right now. And that's what's the most important thing that I can see. People say to me, but will I be done? I don't know. I don't know, because I have a personal responsibility that as a medium, I don't tell people's fortunes. We're not allowed. It's against the law over here in the UK anyway. You know, we've got a code of conduct that I work to under the Spiritualist National Union. So there is a code of conduct. We don't turn around, and I've never ever felt this anyway, that, oh, you're going to die. I'll tell you a story,
Mhm.
Shannon, as we're finishing off. My
Please
friend
do.
my friend gave me a reading. This Spanish lady gave me a reading. It was so fast. I was like, that quite hard. And she turned around, she went, and you will die 85. I went, thanks for that. So I was like, thank you, God bless. So as I went to my friend, I went, who else got told they were going to die? Oh, yeah, I got told I was going to die at 76, 77. We all got told we're going to die. And I said, it's so good that I do what I do that I don't entertain that. So that's where personal responsibility and our code of conduct that we work to, because Shannon, there are a load of charlatans out there. There's people that will take your money, and that's why I say when I honor and I do an hour's healing, I am sat here. I'm not off doing something else while someone's there and asleep. We honor the connection for the length of time that that client wants the healing for. And that's why with the code of conduct and how I work is with integrity and honor, because I want everybody's soul to be the best that they can be. I want to give people that hand up like I got when I went, look, do you know what? I'm too overwhelmed. It's too much fun. I would never have said that years ago. But now I go, I'm too overwhelmed. I can't do it. I need to break away from some. Oh yeah, right, okay. And so I know what it's like now to hand someone the hand up to say, Jim, come on, it's all right. Let's just take our time, take little steps. We will do our absolute best for you. So that's what I do as a healing. That's what I do when I'm getting everything together now so that I know that when I'm on those stages to do group healings. And that's what I'm doing a lot of now is group healings where clients come to me on Zoom and we're doing like 5 or 6, however many it is, group healings now to help the people. And it takes the cost down as well for people. So that's,
Yeah.
again, you remember years ago, it's like the money doesn't matter anymore because I know the money will flow as long as I'm doing my path and helping people become the best that can be. That is what it's all about. And it's through doing podcasts like yourself, Shannon. So I'm forever grateful for that people get to know and hear me far and wide about what I do. So thank you. I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful too. That's why I love podcasting. Besides the fact that we get to anyone can start a podcast about what they're interested in and find their people. It's for me the community and I love listening to stories of people. And what I love about the actual format is that it's a symbiotic relationship too, is that you're offering value and energy to me and my listeners. And then we, in turn, hopefully are returning that energy in the way of connecting you with your people that
Yeah.
can benefit from you and vice versa. So it's just an expanded network that is that we're all connected by common threads of interest. And I just wanted to speak really quickly to yeah, as a medium, I always tell people I'm never going to tell you when you're going to die. Anything that is not going to serve you or help you heal, that is not helpful. And also, I could be wrong. So I don't want you, if I said to you, you're going to die in 3 weeks, well, that's going to destroy your your experience in this life. You're not going to be able to be present. And then what if I'm wrong? But it's not helpful for us to know when we're going to die. It doesn't matter. That's not important, and it's unethical, I believe, to tell people anything like, "Oh, by the way, someone's going to die in your life." How is that helpful?
I've
You
had,
might say, "Yeah, if you feel a health condition that might be." Tyler Henry told Alan Thicke just before he passed. I don't know if you know who he was, but yeah, and he was on the Tyler Henry show, and Tyler said, "Hey, listen, just really want you to go get your heart checked out. Just, he was very Tyler and Smiley, like, don't worry about it. Just please go get it checked." Alan died of a heart attack shortly thereafter. So he didn't say, you're going to die of a heart attack. It was, hey, you might just please go get that checked out and for your own highest and best. So any message, any ethical medium is going to be sure that everything that they're saying is going to be in the person's highest and best good and in their best interest. It is not helpful to hear scary news. That just isn't going to be helpful.
don't go near anybody that says they can prophesize, anybody that says that they can, all that kind of stuff. No, stay clear of them because that's just no. Oh God, you can hear me saying this. It's just beyond. There is so many people out there that just want your money, that have
Yeah.
no interest in your heart. They will ruin you. And you know what? It's just the stories I have had about what people have been told is just, it's downright scary. It's just no, because even if it was interesting because one of the stories I had that a lady, Scottish lady, and she was kind of sweary. I could hear her right, and this is at a point that I went, I thought everybody was love and light and gorgeous and soft and stuff, but clearly not. This is when I was learning and changing, and she wasn't happy. This mum was not happy. I told her about the fact that her funeral hadn't been paid for. It was she. I could hear in my ear. So when I talked to the client, right, so I was describing this mum in a different way. I was going, right, I've got this mum here, blah blah blah, and I said she may, and I know that fact that there was something to do with the funeral, that it wasn't. This girl went, me. Scottish, really proud Scottish. Now, us Scottish women can be really harsh, right? And I says, and I was, well, I've just got your mum here, and she's just talking about how maybe the funeral wasn't as paid for, maybe as it could have done. She went off on one issue. She went, I wasn't paying for that funeral. I didn't like her. I was like,
Oh, that's so funny.
it's that side of it, but the mum was really strong, but I wasn't going to come out and say exactly, do you know what I mean? Because we've got, again, it's the code of conduct that we've got, the mum wasn't happy, the mum, because at that time, it's funny, this is way back when I thought, I didn't think spirit came through like that, but there's
Yeah.
all that essence of that they can come back if they've got things to say and things to feel and stuff like that. So it's all about that honor. And like you've done is like Tyler did, it's you say it in a beautiful way that's like when I do my cards and the healthy lifestyle, and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to give you this card, but this card is just about it's all aspects of your life. It's your health, your mental, your wellness. Just see what you're doing and see what you can improve on. You know, because I'm not here to say you should do.
Yeah. And we have free will. And the other thing is that with tarot, when I pull cards for myself, I'm not a reader, a tarot reader, but I use them as a tool, as a little tool. But what I also believe is that we have free will. Anything can change at any time. It doesn't mean it's set in stone. It's just that at this particular moment, these cards might be reflecting your inner state. So if you're in a place of lack, I'm not ever going to make money. I'm struggling financially. And so you're sort of manifesting that. It might show up that, oh, you better watch your money. Oh, you're really in financial lack. But switch the mindset and start to think, no, I am taken care of. Everything is working out in my favor. Money's coming. You might pull a card and it might be you are in a place of wealth and abundance. So also keep in mind that it's not set in stone. It might just be today. This is the energy we're in.
Exactly, exactly. And that's why when because I used to always have this thing, if you're in lack, which I was clearly because I was thinking it as well,
Yeah.
right? That's 22. But if you're, I understand now with people when they say, but if I am actually in lack and I actually don't have money to buy milk or I don't have money to buy the essentials, how can I get out of it? Well, I say to them at that precise moment, say it's bread, right? And it's just you, not there's no children, right? But just say, do you actually need bread that day?
Yeah.
No. Well, it's not lack. Just think of it. You don't need it that day. Do you
Yeah.
actually need milk in your whatever it may be? I say that day. What do you need to go out and buy whatever? No, actually, I don't. It's just because you feel that you have to, because we're drawn into this commercialism and this need and this materialistic lifestyle that we think we need. And it's not for me. It's do I want to go out there and have a brand no wardrobe? Yeah, I would have done way back when, but now it's like, no, I don't. I want to feel the love of spirit and the joy, the companionship, the whole thing that dealing with mediumship brings. I want that, and that is what I'm working constantly towards, feeling constantly, because that is that's my abundance. And if I can give that little bit of I'm learning, because I've been through there, if I can give back on a bigger time and say, do you know what? I'll give you a little shortcut. How about if you were to do it this way? And it's giving someone a little bit of the abundance, the love, the joy, the inspiration that I've gone through to give to them. That's all I want to do. I just want to help. I want to give them that hand and help them up. And I feel quite emotional about that because people need a helping hand and people need people to be seen, and a lot of people aren't seen. And when I speak to clients and I say it's time for you to come out of the shadows, that's when the welling of emotion, because they're like, I've always just wanted to be heard and to be seen, literally. And that's the most beautiful thing. So that's my abundance, and that's what I think. If I can give whatever I've been taught over the years, and I know I'm getting more powerful, more stronger, more confident to say, do you know what? But not without ego. I understand we need ego for a point, but it's without the ego to say, this is what we can do for you. This is how it is. Like you say, free will. If you want it, you do. If you don't, that's fine. Absolutely fine. I'm not here to change anybody, but that's why God's love and the inspiration and the energy and the feelings and the love and the divine is within us all. I've just sparked it all out and I just want to, I'm like a glowworm. I'm just glowing all the time.
Me too, me too, I know, and I have really struggled with lack mentality.
Yeah.
Really, my one of my biggest struggles in this life has been fear of lack, fear of just not having enough money and, but being in my purpose, I know that I'm on the right path now, and I feel that I have to trust, that we're on an unconventional journey, and I live in a very capitalistic state continent country, and that isn't why we're here. And so I keep reminding myself, literally, money's a concept. It is very helpful. It can ease some stress, But honestly, we are not here for that. This is not what we're here for. We're here to love, to connect, to support one another, to really embody the way we are on the other side as much as we possibly can, despite all of the strife, violence, hate, anger, clashing that's here. And that's not to simplify, that's not to minimize how big that all is, but it's also, like you said, we got to put on our own oxygen mask first, which is where self care comes in. And have to know we are provided for, even if it's like we aren't going to starve. Some people do. And and that's not to put blame on anyone. It's some people will find themselves without a roof over their head. But I know at least, that I have enough support because I have community, because I've connected, because I have I will never not be provided for. It may not look like we thought. We may not be able to have, like you said, all the material things that we feel like we have to have because everyone else has. It's all just a lie. It's what matters is we are here to
It
love one
is.
another.
Yeah, absolutely. Because think about it, we came in with nothing. You're not going to pack your bags of money when you die and you're on that deathbed. You're not going to take it. You're going to go out there with nothing. You're going to go there with looking back in life and saying, right, let's go for that life review. Let's see what we could do next time. It's all left behind anyway.
Yes, I'm moving back to LA from Arizona. I've been gone 4 years and I'm moving back, and everyone's saying, "Why are you going back when the whole city just caught fire?" And I said, "It's because of the connections, the love, the friendships, the 25-year relationships. I might be going back to a place that's more risky to live in, but I'd rather be there with those I love than even in the most beautiful place where I do have a community, but it's just there's so much more there for me." And in light of the fires, what I have really come to, I'm getting chills for some reason, I don't know why, is listen, at the end of the day, I'm moving into a beautiful house in Laurel Canyon. And if there is a fire, what would I take? And I immediately went, me and my cat. That's it.
Yeah,
I don't need,
me and my dogs. That would be it. That
that's
would
it.
be Yeah, that'd be it because it's true. Because we've all heard the stories that people that are passing are not thinking about they should have done more work, they should
Yeah.
have done that, they should have done. It's not, it's about family, friends. I always talk about friendship when I do my divine services and personal responsibility. Friendship is what it's all. That's what I found the last few years, friendship, because I was always a bit of doing my own thing. But then I realized, wait a minute, there are people that actually do adore you and love you. And that's what I would rather be around those
Yep.
people. Why not? And like if you're going back to that, it's not going back to that. You're going, you belong there. It's
Yeah,
like and you have, like you say, it's free will. You'll go there, you'll make those connections. There'll be some people, like we all do, but that's just how life is. But you'll be amongst the love and the 25 years relationships that it's just beautiful. It's
it
that's
is.
Yeah.
I said to a friend, I'd rather be, and this isn't exactly true, but the concept, I'd rather be in hell with the people I love the most than in heaven all by myself without them. Now, I don't mean that it's actually literal hell. I don't mean that anything is truly heaven, but just even with the fires, even with the pollution, even with the traffic and all the things, what I've learned from traveling the last 4 years, and I have friends here too that are also equally important to me, but I've known them for less time. And I realized that really at the end of the day, home is where the heart is. And the place might be flooding and fire and crime and homelessness and, overcrowding and all of these things. And yet when I'm there, these are my people. And that to me is like, I'll risk it all just to be with the people I love and to feel the belonging and to feel the community and the passion and the excitement and the in alignment career wise. So I think I was going to ask you at the end, what's the one thing that you would like people to know? And you can still share that. But I suspect you're going to say, love, connection. That's kind of it. But
It is.
but yeah,
It is because it's interesting because I've known that from a child that I've always been on my own. I love being on my, so I feel as though I'm a bit of a gypsy. So
me
home to
too.
me is not, home is where the heart is, but where is the heart? The heart for me is all around. So it doesn't matter. I don't feel I'm ever going to have a home for the next 30, 40. I just
Me
don't.
neither.
see myself moving in a beautiful way to connect with people. I just feel myself as a gypsy, just going up in the van, meeting people, getting to know people, then moving on.
Yep.
Because it's all about the connecting with people. And I've never actually wanted somewhere that if someone said to me, you're going to live here for that, God, no,
No,
no.
I've been researching RV and van life,
Yeah.
even though I know that's also difficult. After my third house move out of state in 4 years, I just said, I can't do this again. I don't want this attachment to all of the things and being tied down to, well, I'm in LA and having a blast, but I need to go home because my house needs me, because I have things I have to do there. I want to be able to say, oh, well, there's a fire, so I'll just drive away. And I have a friend whose RV burned down, so that's also something. But I don't want to be stuck. I want to be able to go where the wind takes me, go to where the,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Where the wind takes you, isn't it? So like that
yeah,
thing. But yeah, it literally is. I want the freedom to see, obviously the doggies come in the van anyway, but it is that I feel as though I'm not a disciple. I don't mean that like that, but I do feel as though I'm a disciple in that I'm going where the healing is needed.
exactly.
And I feel as though that I'll be asked to be the medium that's, the guest medium at all these, not spas per se, but these resorts that people will go to and to find themselves. Because I don't want people to go, when people go away to resorts and they do these week-long inner being self awareness things, but then they come back straight into reality and they've
Yeah,
paid £2,000 and they're back to square one. I want to be the person that keeps that going for them.
yeah,
And that's where I see where their life is going. It's interesting. I'm talking to you now. I'm like, I never would have thought of that. But it's that I just feel as though that's where I'm going. I'll always be there. Just people will gather, people will get their healing, people will get their reboot, and that's what I feel. And as long as, like you say, will always be provided by and for, and I that's why I don't feel that I'll be stuck. But then there's a thought of me going, well, if I could have a little house but still travel away a lot, that would do me as well, because I can't live in an RV or,
I know.
well, who knows, right? But it'd be nice just to come home to open the gate and do the gardening and do the human stuff because I do feel as well, being a healer for over 35 years now, it's all about, I like the normality that this place hasn't got a garden. That's why we're looking for a garden, is to have that place of, I love pottering in the garden. I love doing the weeding. I love doing the digging. I love hanging the washing hanging out. Oh my God, I just love doing that. So it's just a simple life thing that I love doing, putting the fire on and hanging the washing out. And it's interesting how people are like, you is what? I mean, yeah, I don't want to do all the nightclubs and stuff now. I just love a
Yeah.
beautiful day, standing out there, listening to the birds that I can do every day and what the dog is. That to me is simplicity of life. That is for the love and the joy that even listening to birds talking to each other when I can know it's the robins or the starlings. It's just beautiful because I think, oh my God, the love. And everything just makes my heart sing now. It's like I could get emotional at anything but nice emotion, it's just if I feel the love of something, I know I've done it, I know I'm succeeding, I know I'm moving forward. I see I'm getting emotional now. I know I'm moving forward onto the right path of life to think that this is my calling. I do feel quite emotional.
I
uh,
feel the same. And I
it's
think you and I both want people to not forcing spirituality on anyone by any means, but I think we should, at least I can speak for me that I know I share because I want everyone to be able to access this peace within, especially as someone who is an addict, but I would say not an acting out addict, a recovering addict, where I remember what it was like to not want to be here. I remember what it was like to be so depressed and in so much pain that I didn't want to be here at all. And to have found this peace, and it doesn't matter how you get there. I just want everyone to find it in them. No matter what, I don't care how they get there. I just want to encourage them to explore
yeah,
if
because
it resonates.
once you find the love, ladies and gentlemen, once you find that frequency, it is so, I cannot say enough how it is to feel the way I feel, like probably 90% of the day, other than when I'm sleeping. But then I know I'm at the healing temple or I'm going out doing
Yeah.
my explore as well. So I would just love everybody to be able, even if they tapped into a minuscule amount of
Mhm.
how much love I feel inside me now when I help people to heal. It's just that I'd love, like you, I'd love everybody just to be able to feel that, just that once, just to know that there is something better out there all the time. And when I talk to my peers and they sit in that, oh my God, that remembrance of love from the universe, it's just, why would you not want to?
I know. I know, and believe me, I say that with full empathy for people that are suffering from depression, addiction. I was there. I know when you're in the hole, it feels like you cannot even begin to climb out of it. You have no idea how you could possibly ever get there, and that's why I'm writing a book. That's partly why I have a podcast to tell people that I am the same. I'm not grumpy ever. I am happy pretty much all the time. Life circumstances can make me very sad, but ultimately, I just want people to find the peace within because if I can do it, you can do it. And I hear that in your message too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If I can do it, yeah, you can do it too. But people want someone to look up to that's authentic, right?
Yeah.
It's not like, and I'm not dissing anybody, but you know what? We've lived a life. Well, I've lived a life that I know. I'm of an age that I've lived a life. I'm not 20 years of age trying to tell you how to live your life where I haven't even left home yet. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
all about the life experiences. I've been there, I've done it. I know what it's like not to have money to be able to buy a pint of milk. And then I just go, well, I don't need it today anyway. So it's only through I've learned to do that. I think, is it, whereas before it'd be like, oh, I can't afford. Now it's like, well, not now, obviously it's changed, but
Yeah.
then it was like, that lack. But it's just about helping people, encourage them to take responsibility, because when they understand that everything that they've made, their choices have gotten them to that place, everything they've done, everything they've said, they've made the decision to get there through some will or form. Now, I understand when it's abuse, and I understand because I've been there. Have they asked
Yeah.
for it? That's a bit of a contentious question, but there's that sense of being able to ask for help, being able to get that help, because obviously when you talk about the darker side of life that people have gone through, and you can't comprehend any way, shape, or form how they could possibly feel. But again, it's if they've come to me and they've gone through that, it's about helping them to feel a little bit of love to start with, a little bit of compassion, empathy, to know that they are loved. And that's the biggest thing, that whatever's gone on that's been horrendous in anybody's eyes, to know that God's love, the all that is love, the universal love, is there for them, so that they can feel love again, and that they are loved irrespective of how they've been made to feel in the past. We can help them feel that love, that little bit of spark of joy, to get back into their being and their presence again, to have that hope of living the life that they want to live. And that's part of my journey as well.
Thank you so much, Julie Dryburgh. I could speak with you all day, but that's a beautiful place to stop for today. And I know that we will be in touch with each other when I go out to the UK because I want to go around to
Yes.
not just Arthur Findlay, not just London, but also to Ireland and Scotland. So, thank you so much for being here, Julie. You've been a
Oh, thank
wonderful
you.
guest, and I know that I really looking forward to my audience hearing your insights as well. So, thank you so much again for joining me today.
And thank you so much for having me, Shannon. It's a pleasure. I'm just so excited that we could speak together and get to know each other. So thank you so much.
Me too. Thanks.
Thank you.